It's time to let rejection go. And I know that that's something that a lot of people hold on to. A lot of women hold on to rejection as a thing, as a crutch. I'm just going to say it. As a crutch, it's a story. It's something for you to talk about over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, and it's painful as you talk about it over and over again, and it becomes like a scratch record, but it doesn't become like a scratch record outside of you. It becomes like a scratch record inside of you. You know, rejection usually comes in through a situation or a circumstance, through something that happened, right? That rejection usually enters in by the doorway of a situation or a circumstance of something happening. Okay? But when you allow rejection to stay, rejection stays in your womb, stays in your energetic field, stays in your emotional body. Rejection stays there because you continue to think about it. You hold on to it in your thoughts. You hold on to it in your mind. That's how rejection takes a foothold. That's how it stays. Okay, so rejection comes in through the doorway of a situation or a circumstance, something happening. But you continue to be affected by rejection and or abandonment through your thought process, because you continue to think about the story, you continue to think about the situation, you continue to think about the act, you continue to think about what was done. So that's how it stays. And so that's what I mean when I say that you have absolute control over what it is that you're creating and what it is that you're dealing with and what it is that's manifesting in your life. You have absolute control over it because you are creating it. You're creating it on a vibrational level. You're creating it on a frequency level. You're creating it on a thought level. You are creating it and solidifying it every time you talk about it. And so, you know, yes, when rejection happens, yes, it's very painful. Yes, it's very disruptive. Yes, it is. I totally sympathize and empathize with that and understand it because I have been through that. Rejection has been the foundation of my story, but I chose to build on top of that. You know, there's a scripture that I love. All things work together for the good. I believe that there is good in every situation. I always say the blessing and the curse is the exact same thing. It is your perception of it. It is how you choose to view it that makes it blessing or curse for you. That's why they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's why some people see the glass half empty and some people see the glass half full. That's why some people see forgiveness as the ultimate, most difficult thing to accomplish. And some people, they thank the situation for giving them an opportunity, for giving them a lesson, for giving them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they didn't have before. It is your perception that creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your perception. We always have a choice on what we do with it, okay? And so whenever you entertain rejection in your thoughts, in your talk, in your thoughts, in your talk, in your thoughts, in your talk, you keep entertaining rejection. What happens is you open the door for unforgiveness to come in. And unforgiveness is a very tricky thing. You know, unforgiveness is very funny and it's very interesting when you have conversations with people about forgiveness. There are many women who hold on to forgiveness, or I should say hold on to unforgiveness as a trophy. They put it in their bra, they wrap it up in tissue and they stick it in their bra, or they stick it into their private area to keep it safe. It's like, I will never forgive this person for what they did. They walk around with it like a trophy. They walk around with it like it's a prize, this unforgiveness. And the only person who is being hampered by unforgiveness is you, because you choose not to forgive somebody. You're not taking anything away from that person. You're not doing anything to that person. But so many people walk around with unforgiveness in their heart, thinking that they really affecting the person who they hold an unforgiveness towards. You're not affecting anybody but yourself. And see, when you forgive, you don't change what happened. Forgiveness doesn't change the situation. It doesn't change the circumstance. It doesn't change the event. It doesn't change the disappointment. It doesn't change the hurt. It doesn't change the pain. Okay? When you forgive, you don't change what happened. You change the stance of what happened. You change the happen stance. You change the emotional or intellectual attitude towards what happened. That's what happens when you forgive. Forgiveness doesn't change what happened. It changes your stance of what happened. It changes your positioning in what happened. It changes how you perceive, how you hold, how you respond to, how you react to, how you relate to what happened. That's what forgiveness does. And see, whenever you entertain rejection, you keep pondering and stewing and steeping in rejection. That creates anger, okay? And I want to tell you all, today that rejection leads to unforgiveness, which leads to sickness and disease, emotional and physical disease. We look around in the world today and we live in a sick, diseased world. And one of the biggest culprits to all of the sickness and the disease that is happening in the world is unforgiveness. Because rejection can lead to anger, which leads to unforgiveness. And what this anger does is it puts you in fight or flight mode. And fight or flight mode results in numerous changes in your heart rate, in your blood pressure, and in your immune response. Think of it. When something happens and you feel rejected, you feel the pain, you feel the anger, you feel the disappointment. Where do you feel that? You feel that in your body. When you are rejected, which part of your body do you really feel that in? You feel that right in your heart chakra energy center, or you feel that in your solar plexus. Okay? So rejection leading to anger puts you in fight or flight mode, which results in changes in your heart rate, in your blood pressure, and in your immune response. And these changes increase the risk of depression, heart disease, and diabetes. Ladies, that's how serious this is. Unforgiveness affects your body's organs. Rejection leads to unforgiveness. Unforgiveness leads to sickness and disease, both physical and emotional. But yet you walking around with this damn unforgiveness like a freaking trophy, like it's like somebody gonna pay you millions of dollars for that. Ain't nobody gonna pay you millions of dollars for that, but you might end up paying millions of dollars to a doctor to try to restore your health. You holding on to something like you affecting somebody else by refusing to forgive. You're not affecting nobody other than yourself. It's time to put the rejection behind you. It's time to let it go. Especially those of you who have been holding unforgiveness in your heart as a result of rejection and or abandonment towards people for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You see the person and everything inside of your body disrupts. And you can't even freaking remember what the hell happened while you so disconnected from the person. And listen, when you get to a place where you can't remember what happened, boo-boo, it's time to let it go. Jolie says, you tell them, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Dis plus ease equals disease. Yes. Dis plus ease. A disconnection from being at ease or at peace within yourself, within your mental, within your emotional, within your physical body will create disease in your physical body. As within, so without. It's science. But we are spirit beings having a human experience. When you walk outside of that, That's where all the disconnect is, because you're disconnected from the truth and from the essence of who you are. And so today I'm talking to you about rejection leads to unforgiveness, which leads to sickness and disease, both emotional and physical. If you're here with me, type in the comment section, release rejection. If you are dealing with rejection and you know it's time for you to let it go, type in the comment section, release rejection. If you're here with me, type in the comment section. Let me say, I'm here, Danica. I see some of my Bahamian sisters on here with me today. Hey, Rhonda Ward. Hey, Anishka Lightburn. Yes, Bahamas in the house. Yes, but it's time to let rejection go. Stop holding on to unforgiveness as if it's a trophy, as if somebody gonna pay you for that. Nobody is gonna pay you for the unforgiveness you holding on to, like you doing something so sanctimonious by holding on to this unforgiveness. And let me tell y'all something. For those of you on here watching this live or watching the replay, if you are a person who says this statement, I'll forgive, but I will never forget, you not forgiven. You are not forgiving. Let me give you a clue as to how you know when forgiveness takes place for real. When forgiveness takes place for real, the topic comes up, a thought comes up, you see the person, there is no emotional reaction, there is no emotional connection to what happened. That's how you know when you have forgiven for real. When that person can come into your space and you are in the most joyous mood, and that person comes into your space and you stay in the most joyous mood, then forgiveness, true forgiveness has taken place. If you're in the most joyous mood and the person who you're holding unforgiveness towards, the person who rejected you, the person who abandoned you, comes into your space and your whole energetic vibration shifts, you have not forgiven. And if you make this statement, and this is your mindset and this is your thought process, I'll forgive, but I won't forget, you have not forgiven, nor do you desire to. Because if you truly desire to walk in true forgiveness, you would be willing to release that and let that go. And in the releasing and the letting go completely comes the forgetting. So if you saying that you forgive but you don't forget, you're not forgiven and you lying to yourself. And one of the things that is so important now is for women to stop lying to themselves. You lying to yourself, and then you have a problem with everybody else lying to you. You are being treated the same way that you treat. Others are treating you first and foremost the way that you treat yourself. Okay, so I understand rejection energy is very difficult. It's very painful. It can be a very hard process. I know, because when I went through it, I had to go through it on my own. There was nobody that I even felt comfortable enough to talk to about the shit that I was dealing with. But that was a part of my process. That was my own personal process, and I'm very grateful for it, because I believe strongly that I learned things in that process that have equipped me to be able to help the women that I help now, for them to fully awaken to their divine feminine, to reclaim their divine feminine power, to release rejection and abandonment issue. Yes, I understand it. I understand how it feels. But let me tell you, I'll come in and get you out, but I ain't wallowing in your shit with you, because shit don't serve to strengthen you. It doesn't. It keeps you stressed out. It keeps you disempowered. It keeps you in a place of anger. It keeps you in a place of resentment. Rejection leads to resentment. Resentment and unforgiveness, they sleep in the same bed together. Unforgiveness affects your body's organs. Unforgiveness leads to sickness and disease, both physically and emotionally. And so if this is bothering you right now, then this means that your soul is trying to communicate something to you. There's a shift that needs to take place, because the only person who you are hindering, the only person you are hampering, the only person you are hurting with your "I'll forgive, but I ain't gonna forget" attitude is yourself. heart disease, depression, diabetes, high blood pressure are all conditions of rejection and unforgiveness. Like we said back in the Bahamas, this thing go with sense. This is serious. That's how serious releasing rejection and abandonment energy in this season of your life is. That's how serious it is. And so if you need assistance doing that, that is what I do. And let me pat my own self on the back. That is what I do very well. Very, very, very well. So go to www.talktodanica.com and let's have a conversation about where you are and where it is that you desire to be and how to get you there. Because, you know, my clients basically range from 30s, early 30s to like late 50s, early 60s, right? And I work with women who have been carrying shit. Y'all know that's become my favorite word. I just love that word now. I'm not even apologizing for using it anymore because there's too much shit going on. There are women who've been carrying shit in their heart, in their mind, in their thought, in their emotions for 20, 30, 40 years. And they wonder why they're sick. They wonder why they have rheumatoid arthritis. They wonder why they have high blood pressure. They wonder why they have cardiovascular disease. They wonder why they have diabetes. It's because you're carrying all of this rejection and abandonment energy. You're carrying all this unforgiveness. You tote that unforgiveness in your Michael Kors, your Gucci, your what is it, YSL, what else kind of thing? What's that one that they got that I really don't like? Louis Vuitton. You carrying that around in your purse like it's treasure. Unforgiveness. In your expensive bag, you carrying around this unforgiveness like somebody's gonna pay you for that. You need to turn your bag upside down and dump that shit out, because the only person who is being affected by that is you. And it is time to let rejection and abandonment go. It's time to let it go. The only person who is being affected by that is that beautiful woman that you see when you look at yourself in the mirror. And that's why you don't see beauty when you look at yourself in the mirror. That's why you picking out everything that's wrong with you when you look at yourself in the mirror. All that rejection and abandonment energy that you are carrying in the recesses of your womb, that is creating unforgiveness. And this unforgiveness is affecting your body's organs. It's affecting your heart. It's affecting your brain. It's affecting your liver. It's affecting your stomach. You got weight. You have all this fat around your stomach that you do intermittent fasting. You do 40-day fasting. You in the gym every day. You doing crunches 3 times a day. You eating green for breakfast, green for lunch, and green for dinner. And all that weight is still there. It's all connected. Emotional weight results in physical weight. As within, so without. It's time to let it go, okay? And if you need help doing that, go to www.talktodanica.com and let's have a conversation. You're gonna have the same shit on tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. If you don't do something, more specifically flush the toilet, you need to flush the toilet so you can change your experience, so that you can have and you can create the amazing, powerful life that you deserve, that is your birthright, and that you are destined and were created to have. But the only person who can access that is you. And the first thing you need to do is make a decision, set an intention, participate in the process. Be willing to participate in the process means do the work, and then be determined no matter what, that from this time, from this day, from this moment going forward, you're going to create only amazing, only power, only beauty, only love, only joy in your life. It is possible. I live it every single day. I just had lunch with my daughter today and I was telling her, I said, I love my life so much and I'm so grateful for the life that I have. on the other side of rejection because I was willing to choose to let it go. And you can too. Okay, so again, if you need help doing that, www.talktodanica.com. And watch out for me this week because I'm gonna be talking about rejection all this week. I'm doing some studies on that, and tomorrow I'm going in depth about how rejection that creates unforgiveness really affects your body and makes you sick. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Hey Errol, hey Cheryl, Lacey, Donovan, Vado. Ooh, we got Bahamas in the house for real today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, type #replay. And if you are in a place where you know what I'm saying is real, you know is necessary, or you know that you need to do some of what I'm saying today, type in the comment section #release rejection. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back. See you guys tomorrow.